कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In the news tonight, government revenue declines by 50%. Residential homeowners disregard building code. And major cleanup at Nambukolo Creek.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Good evening, Fiji. There is less money available to be able to carry out the developments needed in the country. Speaking at the Fiji Building Designers Association workshop, Infrastructure Minister Choni Sumate highlighted that due to the effects of COVID-19, the government revenue has declined by 50%. Sanya Nimboila reports, Usumate says despite the reduction in revenue from taxes and duty, the government is still ensuring that those in need of assistance get it.
The COVID-19 impact continues to grapple the country, and this has affected many development projects.
That much now halved. That means there's less money available to be able to provide the sorts of developments that we need in this country. Whether it's for roads, whether it's for water, whether it's for electricity, but at the same time, government is still maintaining the amount of money that it gives to keep people sustaining their lives. Education, the social welfare, all of these things are still being provisions. But
Usamati says the government is working in collaboration with relevant stakeholders to ensure people have jobs to enable the economy to get back on track.
The ministry is working with education institutions in Fiji and the region to look at the frameworks by which local qualifications are accepted by overseas universities for further study. But this will make it financially viable for Fijians to become more professionally qualified and so benefit the local building industry and the people.
Fiji Builders Design Association President Selen Kumar says they want the construction sector to be able to contribute more towards the economy.
We reintegrating our members who have been already registered as RDCs to accredit them with levels. But at the moment, everybody is an open record. But what we have noticed for the last 1 or 2 years that not all of you are capable of doing all the projects.
More than 100 building design consultants and technicians took part in the one-day workshop in Suva today. Sainian Imboila, FBC News.
The lack of provisions in the National Building Code to allow the National Fire Authority to enforce fire safety in residential homes is a challenge. Divisional Fire Officer Taniela Mafi says 95% of residential fire incidents can be addressed if stricter policies are in place. Sanya Nimboila reports.
Speaking at the National Builders Association workshop, Daniela Mafi highlighted that business fires are less when compared to residential home fires.
We rely on the National Building Code as a guide. That's the guide for all the construction that we're doing in Fiji. And the issue that I'm raising here is that we don't have enough provisions, therefore, to allow National Fire Authority to enforce those fire safety aspects.
Mafi says many of these incidents occur in squatter settlements where the National Building Code is never followed.
You see those, some of the structures that we have in squatters and some of the buildings that are being rented out, they don't care about safety. They just build anyhow. Whether it's 1 meter or 0.5 meter close to each other, they don't care.
NFA representative Stephania Dole says builders should also remain mindful of their new products in the market that could contribute to the fire.
The new things coming in, building materials, the panels, aluminium panels with the exterior. Okay? Our National Building Code is silent on that, but it's captured under Australia and New Zealand on the revised codes.
National Fire Authority is working closely with the construction sector to ensure that buildings follow all relevant fire safety requirements. Sainian Imboila, FBC News.
With just 2 months into 2021, a total of 20 house fires have already been recorded. This has gotten Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama deeply concerned and says tragic fire incidents continue to occur despite the various awareness campaigns. Felipe Nakaso reports last year the cost of damage relating to property fire stood at around $13 million.
The Prime Minister not mincing his words, stating that majority of fires recorded could have been prevented.
The loss of life, property and savings creates lasting pain for the victims of fire, some of whom suffer lifelong injuries.
Last year, 35% of all incidents were related to electrical mishaps, making it the #1 cause of fire.
Investigations have revealed that 77% of the fires attended to by the National Fire Authority are caused by electrical mishaps, by arson, unattended cooking, and mishandling of matches.
Today in Yako village, 31 volunteers were selected as fire wardens after completing a 3-week training course.
The community fire wardens have been trained and taught the basic skills in life-saving evacuation, fire evacuation, tsunami evacuation and others.
32 other communities across Fiji will soon be rolling out the integrated community framework that will empower communities to carry out fire safety compliance. Felipe Nakaso, FBC News.
5 more members from the Social Democratic Liberal Party will not be allowed to attend any committee meetings. Following a day-long management board meeting yesterday, party leader William Ngaboka confirmed some members were told to stay out since they have been named as potential candidates for his predecessor's proposed party. Members named yesterday include former Party General Secretary Andi Litiangioni Barabi, Ratutevita Komaisavai, and Gilbert Wakalalambure. FBC News has today been reliably informed that other members are President of the Sodelpa Nandi Urban Constituency, Selithieli Raiwalui, and Board Member of the Namosi Constituency, Ratu Chone Mataitini, Sakusa Kaitani, Manoa Kamikamida, and Chone Tuisawao. Ngaboka says Sodelpa has begun an investigation against these members.
It gives them the opportunity to convince us or to explain what has transpired, why their name was in that email from an operative from another political party, suggesting to us that they are active in the formation of another party, which is illegal under the laws of Fiji. So in time, once the investigation is over, we'll know for sure where they stand, and we'll go from there.
Waste materials collected from Suva's iconic Numbukalo Creek today will be analyzed by the Department of Environment. Permanent Secretary Joshua Wycliffe says this will help them identify the direction in which the waste came from. Dipesh Kumar reports.
Materials such as rusted irons, beer bottles, cans, plastic bottles and a bag full of certificates were found during a major cleanup of the creek.
What was the waste, what kind of waste, so we were able to put this all together and then prepare educational materials and awareness for people living upstream, because a lot of this waste pollution comes from up.
Suva City Council Special Administrator Isikeli Tikonduandua is urging people to take pride in their city.
Every household should start thinking about how they dispose their rubbish, because if they don't, it ends up here. Right from up in the hills, it comes down the Rio River, it still ends up here, because if you look at the current, bulk of this thing with the current end up in Ronimot in the Lami area.
Volunteers part of the cleanup say it is heartbreaking to see littering remains a problem in Fiji.
Pollution is not a good thing, and as you can see, there's a lot of rubbish that we managed to collect, so simple thing as throwing rubbish inside the rubbish bin.
Beer bottle, which can hurt people if they go to the sea. So I think we should tell and advise each and everyone, people of Fiji, please keep our Fiji clean.
This creek is one of the icons in the heart of the Suva city, but it has lost its significance due to the amount of pollution. Several groups here have joined hands today in an effort to clean the creek and restore its significance. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
Up ahead, nurses in cyclone-ravaged areas receive counseling. And solo moms showcase skills.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Psychological support was amongst the most critical service that over 30 nurses and medical practitioners in the Mbua and parts of Matawata province needed following tropical cyclones Yasa and Ana. Fiji Nursing Association President Dr. Alisi Wundiniambola says nurses are facing different forms of physical or psychological challenges during these trying times. Josaina Nunga reports.
Professional counseling was prioritized for these health workers in the Northern Division following the natural hazards over the past few weeks.
We believe that nurses will be psychologically affected, so we know that this is one of the aspects or area that we need to see.
Dr. Wundiniambola has acknowledged the support rendered by relevant authorities to nurses in these affected areas.
I would also like to thank Empower Pacific and the other organization who have been able to step in at a critical time soon after the cyclones to offer psychological support and counseling for our nurses who were heavily affected by the cyclone.
The association has spent thousands of dollars to ensure the nurses are fully equipped to provide efficient health services.
Our members and nurses who were affected, whether they're members of the FNA or not, will be able to get some help and some assistance from everyone who is able to donate any other stuff that they can spare.
The association says Fijian nurses have sacrificed a lot over the years, particularly at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic and the recent tropical cyclones. This indicates nurses are doing justice to their oath to serve and place the health as well as the well-being of Fijians paramount. Josaina Nunga, FBC News.
The parents of a child with special needs in New Zealand have reached out to help Lambasa Special School with furniture after it was damaged in the flooding during TC Ana. The desks and chairs specially built for the children have been well received by the management and the Ministry of Education. Eleanor Rangaivu reports.
These specially designed desks and chairs are expected to make learning more enjoyable for students of Lambasa Special School.
12 desks and 12 chairs according to the size which is required by the school, because this is not a standard table and it's not a standard chairs.
The donation was made possible after the NGO Nasino Junior Chamber reached out to the Naiko family in New Zealand who are looking to help out fellow Fijians affected by the recent cyclones.
They felt fit to give to the special school so that the damage that TC Yasa and TC Ana did can be minimized.
The Naiko family have a 15-year-old son, Mans, who cannot talk, see, walk and eats via a tube. Their message was read out today to the Minister for Education, Rosie Akbar.
Being a parent of a special needs child, I understand the circumstances we have to go through despite having all support and facilities provided.
For parents of children who have special needs, I think it gives you a greater picture of what other children need. And when you are blessed with more than what you need, and when you go out of your way to make a difference in some other child's life, I think that's a great blessing.
Save the Children Fiji also handed over 68 new school bags with stationery for each student at Lambasa Special School. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Rain did not dampen the spirits of mothers who are part of the Solo Moms Project as they continued with their market day in Nasino today. The monthly event is held with hopes to mentally and economically empower single mothers who have gone through challenging times over the years. Lena Reese has the details.
Project manager Esther Karanavatu says some of these women who are part of the project have realized the potential to become entrepreneurs.
Success stories are many. We've seen how the women are thriving now, even though COVID-19 came and sort of affected their business. But such is the resilience of our women, how they're able to just get back on their feet and start hustling for their kids.
The mothers had the opportunity to showcase some of their skills through handicraft, pastry, traditional meals, and even agricultural produce.
We get to learn about life skills and sewing. They taught us how to, how to survive and how to make money, income for our kids and for our family.
Apart from teaching them baking and cooking, also motivating them and encouraging them, and also trying to give them some skills. Also trying to get them to tap into businesses where they can support themselves.
The initiative under International Needs Fiji plans to expand to other areas and recruit more women. Lena Reese, FBC News.
Turning overseas, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman approved of an operation to capture or kill dissident journalist Jamal Khashoggi. This was released by the U.S. after a declassified intelligence assessment. Up ahead in sports, Welsh Dragons first up for Flying Fijians. And women impress in men's competition. This and more after the break.
Bola, ang gono ilutoka butalita ka ng Bola FM bertini nambang 2 NSR.
Bola FM nambang 2 NSR.
The Flying Fijians will start their 2023 Rugby World Cup campaign against Wales on September 11th at Stade de Bordeaux, France. Super Rugby Aotearoa kicked off last night with defending champions Crusaders beating the Highlanders 26-13. Sebuloni Rees scored 1 for the Crusaders, 4 tries. In Australia, Serupapeli Uru and the Reds recorded their second win in Super Rugby AU against Frank Lomani's Rebels. Ratu Kandabo School retained the Challenge Cup this afternoon in the Fiji Secondary Schools Rugby League Southeastern Zone competition. The Londonians thumped Ratu Sukuna Memorial School 52-0 in their under-19 clash at the St. Marcelin Primary School grounds in Watuanga. RKS never gave RSMS any chance at all in the match as they ran riot this afternoon. Kelimendi Ralia of RKS was later named the player of the match.
At the moment we are about to complete our round 2 of competition and we are left with another 3 rounds. I must thank the participating schools and the principals for allowing their students to come and participate.
The dream of participating in Fiji's biggest schools athletics meet is what drives 15-year-old Jared Shute. The Year 10 student made waves in the junior grade school interhouse competition at Nukuvuto ground today, proving to be a threat at the Tailevu zone. Talei Materakula reports.
Finishing first in the 100 and 200 meters came as a surprise for the Vakundra lad.
It's good. We just had to train hard and still have to train more hard.
Jude later helped his Rewa team claim the first place in the 4x100 meters event after they were lagging behind in 3rd place.
Just confirmation to you, Bauhaus. I'm going to say much, but I'll try my best.
School principal Ratucha Sevanga Vindi says the results have improved when compared to previous years.
But after the 1-year lapse from athletics, we've seen that most of them have managed to improve on things that the times and the distances.
Queen Victoria finished 2nd in the 2019 Tailevu zone. This year the school hopes to go one step forward with a new set of athletes. Talima Terkula, FBC Sports.
Cricket Fiji is trying out another development pathway for women cricketers. Every week, a Suva development side is selected to feature in the men's competition. Even though the women have their separate competition, 11 of the best players are picked each week to play against the men. Cricket Fiji Chief Executive Alex Conrote says it gives the selected women an incentive throughout the week to try and impress the selectors.
Of the women's high performance squad,
Every week we pick the 11 from there to play as Suva development in the men's competition. So they've been playing for the last 3-4 weeks. Been doing quite well, but the whole aim was to just give them more quality games outside of the league that they play every Saturday as well.
Swimming Fiji is halfway through the season in its long course Grand Prix. Today they had the second long course competition, and next week they'll have the last of its mini meet. The final Grand Prix event will be held next month before the Easter competition.
Okay, well, with our 8 Olympians, right now they are still in their build-up stages. We're not expecting them to be doing the kind of times right now where they will actually peak. That their coaches have been working with them. So right now it's all about getting the techniques right and getting their plan in place.
New Zealand heavyweight boxer Joseph Parker is ready for his much-anticipated clash with Junior Fa tonight. It's a big opportunity for both boxers to show the world what they've got. Occasional showers and a few thunderstorms were experienced over the Fiji group. An active trough of low pressure lies slow moving over the Fiji group. In the west, cloudy with periods of heavy rain this afternoon. From Pacific Harbour to Suva, mostly cloudy, followed by little rain this afternoon. And in the north, cloudy with heavy showers at intervals. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, the next low tide is at 1:04 tomorrow morning, followed by high tide at 7:18 a.m. Sunrise is at 6:05. For tomorrow, periods of rain, heavy at times and a few thunderstorms. Isolated heavy falls may lead to flash flooding of low-lying areas. Outlook for Monday, rain and thunderstorms over most places, strong winds over land areas of northern Ponolevu, Isawa Group and Lau and Lomaiviti groups expected to ease. Recapping the main stories, government revenue declines by 50%, residential homeowners disregard building code, and major cleanup at Numbukolo Creek. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we're asking, do you believe the roadworks being undertaken is up to par? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook and Twitter accounts. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, stay safe. Mademanda.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.